Hi children and welcome! Today we are going to talk about the parts of a frog. We know that frogs are amphibians. That means they're a kind of animal that have a backbone, that have very slimy, sticky skin, that are born from eggs, and amphibians are frogs, salamanders, they are also caecilians, which are big worms. Today we are going to talk a little bit more about the parts of a frog. We're going to find out what different parts of the frog, what makes up a frog, and what's really important about those different parts. Let's start. We are going to start with the frog's head. This is the head of a frog. The head of a frog is made up of eyes, nostrils, mouth, and eardrum. Now, frogs have very big eyes, and their eyes actually bulge out of their head. What does that mean? Our eyes are inside of our head, right? But a frog's eyes actually almost come out of their head, and they're at the very top of their head. So they stick out a little bit, and that's so they can see everything around them to protect them from predators. Frogs have big eyes on the top of their head. They can see all around them. Different kinds of frogs have different eyes. Some have heart-shaped slits or ovals in the middle of their eyes. And here is a picture of different kinds of frogs and different kinds of, and their different kind of eyes. Some eyes are oval, some eyes have slits, some eyes are very big and round. I see some that are orange and yellow and blue and black. There are so many different kinds of frogs in the world, so there are also different kinds of eyes too. Another important part of their head is their tongue. Frogs have this long, very sticky tongue that begins at the edge of their mouth, and it sticks very far out so they can catch food. If frogs didn't have a long, sticky tongue, could they catch their food and eat? Dinner time. Hungry frog likes to eat bugs and flies. First, a frog rolls out its sticky tongue. Then the fly sticks to the frog's tongue. The frog rolls its tongue back in. The frog shuts its mouth with a big snap. Did you know that frogs swallow their food whole? A frog's eyeballs bob down when it swallows. This helps push the food down its throat. Some frogs don't have long tongues. They have to jump to catch their dinner. This frog here is jumping to catch its dinner. But most frogs do have a long, sticky tongue. So that is the frog's head. It has eyes, it has a mouth that they use to catch food. A frog also uses their mouth for breathing. When a frog was a tadpole, when a frog was a tiny, small tadpole, it has gills to breathe air and water. But once a tadpole turns into a frog, they use their lungs to breathe. So they have a mouth that they use for eating, but they also use a mouth for breathing air. Another part of a frog is their body. This is the frog's body. A frog's body is so amazing. So part of the body, actually part of the whole frog is their skin. We have skin. And we know that amphibians are very, very sticky so that they can protect them from their environment, and it also helps them to breathe in air. But another neat thing about frogs is that their skin changes colors. It can get a little lighter, it can get a little darker so that they can camouflage with their environment. And here are some frogs whose skin can change colors. Let's see if you can find the frog in this picture. Let's see. Do you find the frog? Yes, it's right there. This frog's skin changed to match the green little tiny pieces of, I think these look like little lily pad. Nope, they're tiny little sprouts that are coming out of the ground. There's the frog. His skin changed colors to match his environment so that other animals don't find and eat him. Do you see the frog in this picture? Yes, he's right there. If I was in nature, I would not see this frog because of how his skin changed colors to camouflage. And here's another frog. Do you see the frog in this picture? Yep, he's right there. It is just so interesting how frog skin changes colors to camouflage. Some animals like to eat frogs. Some frogs hide so they can't be seen. The green tree frog is hard to see on a leaf. So the green tree frog actually hides in the leaf, and his skin can change a little bit too. The green tree frog is hard to see on a leaf, but on a brown branch, you can see it easily. Its skin will turn brown when it goes to a brown branch. So the green tree frog is green. It will stay green when it's on a green leaf. But when it moves to a brown branch, it will change to brown. Wow. Some frogs are poisonous. What does that mean? That means that they have venom that can kill that means that if another animal eats that frog, that they will be poisoned and they could probably die. Woof. These frogs here that you see, these blue frogs, are poisonous. They don't need to hide. Their bright skin tells animals that they're bad to eat. So some frogs camouflage, and some frogs are just bright. It's a very beautiful bright frog, but be careful. When you see a bright frog, that means they're probably poisonous. A single drop of poison from an arrow poison frog's skin could kill you. Wow, that is so amazing how their bodies change colors, or how they are just one color, but that's to warn off other animals that they're poisonous. Another interesting thing about frogs is that their skin, that the frogs change their skin to keep it fresh. This is called shedding their skin. The frog wiggles its old skin until it comes loose. Then it pulls it over its head like a sweater. You know what he does with his old skin? He eats his old skin. The skin beneath is brand new. So here's a picture of a frog. First their skin comes loose, then he wiggles out of it, kind of like when you wiggle out of your clothes. Then it pulls the skin over its head like a sweater. Okay, that's funny. Then it eats it. Here is another picture of a frog shedding its skin. So, here we have here we have the frog's head. Then we have the frog's body. Let's explore another part of the frog. Okay, we are going to, oh, here is the frog's hind legs. These are the frog's hind legs that he uses it for jumping long distances. Frogs live on land and they live on water. They have strong, long back legs. Frogs don't walk to get around, they jump. They actually jump. You will never see a frog walking on 2 feet. They use their hind legs that are very, very strong, and they use it to jump. Another neat thing about frogs is, oh, and here's a picture. Here's a picture of frogs using their strong legs. Here's a picture of a frog. You see how long their hind legs stretch? Almost longer than their body. And here is a frog that's dangling on a piece of string or a piece of he's dangling on something, and look at how he's using those strong legs to pull him up. They are super, super strong. So we have the frog's head. We have the frog's head, the frog's body, the frog's hind legs. Now we have the frog's, here we have the frog webbed feet. Webbed feet. So we're going to talk about the frog's webbed feet. This is a webbed foot. I will show you a picture of a webbed foot. Here is a frog's webbed foot. Many frogs have webbed feet. That means that they have skin between their toes. Here, let's look at our fingers. Okay, here are fingers, and we do have skin, but our skin ends here, right? But a frog has skin that he has skin between his toes. The webbed feet help the frogs swim faster. So we have the frog's head that is made up of eyes. He has his mouth that has a tongue. The frog's body. His body and skin camouflages and changes colors, and he also sheds out of his old skin. The frog's strong hind legs that he uses for jumping long distances, or for jumping high and long. This is the frog's, let's make sure it's in the wrong place. Okay, here we go. Here we have the frog's webbed feet. He uses this, the frog uses this for paddling in water to make them very good swimmers. And we have the frog legs also. And here's another picture of a frog. You see his big eyes that bulge out of his head so he can see what's around him. His long, sticky tongue for catching food. Frogs have vocal sacs. When you hear a frog go ribbit, ribbit, that means his vocal sacs are opening and filling up with air that make that sound. When frogs grow up, they come back to the pond where they're born. And sometimes they like to, and the male frog sing a croaky song. The frogs also have eardrums. The eardrums cover the ears like a patch. Here are the frog's back toes. They're webbed for paddling. Remember, that means that they have skin between their toes. Here are the frog's back legs, very strong, used for jumping because frogs don't walk, they jump everywhere. And the frog's skin. Frog skin is so amazing. It takes in water, so there's no need to drink water. So their skin does so many things. It sheds, it changes colors, it camouflages, or it stays one color, but that it could stay one bright color to warn off other animals that they're poisonous. And their skin takes in water so that they don't have to drink water. That's why it stays very moist and slimy. And that is a part of the frog. I hope you enjoyed this video and have fun with the activities of parts of a frog. Bye.